Hello everybody, Chocolate 1000 reporting for Tuesday, welcoming you back to more Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. In the last episode, we went through the tutorial, which is kind of like not interesting in all video games or somewhat. But to be honest, the way how the battle system works in this game, it kind of is understandable on its lonesome. This time, we're going to be making our way to Rhine and Shulk's home turf, which they call a colony. But of course, we got some enemies to actually deal with along the way. They're not going to be a threat to you at all, but you want to actually fight some enemies for you to gain experience along the way. So that way, you got a better chance. Oh, I wish I could actually like hear the voice clear. So actually, let's see. So options. Let's see, sound. Okay, cutscene voice volume. We'll raise that up. Set the volume in-game character voices. Yeah, we'll do it about there. Background music. We do to about there, and sound effects equal to that. If it doesn't sound too well, we could always change it somewhat. And also, here's the tutorial menu. So you can actually have a look at all of these whenever you want. So you got the basic controls, you got battle tactics with Shulk, battle tactics with Rhine, and also something we didn't really get to see in the majority of the battles we did earlier on. The influence of break, topple, and daze. A break icon is highlighted with a pink circle with two zigzaggy lines. A topple icon is a green circle with a redo icon, which is basically a anti-clockwise arrow rotation. Attack an enemy with a break art to inflict break. Certain arts you can use in the game can inflict break, but there may be some enemies that may be resistant or immune to said break. If you do manage to get a break on an enemy, you can make somebody else use a different battle art that has an added effect of inflicting topple. If you topple an enemy, the enemy will become stunned for a brief moment of time, meaning they won't get to do anything. And if the enemy is still toppled, you could do a different art to allow the enemy to be dazed, meaning that they will not get the ability to attack or even move. Also, its aggro will not increase depending on who does the most damage to the enemy. This is a chance for characters with lower defense to deal heavy damage. You will learn Daze arts as you progress through the game, but the only thing is, I actually don't know when, and I also don't know where. There is something else in this game that you should note, that there is a expert mode. You get limit EXP gain and adjust the character levels, but it's more fun to actually get to explore the game the way it's intended to. So there we go, 2 small Skeeter crystals and a sweet nectar. Okay. Now I think with these crystals, and oh, actually, can I not look at the characters? So anyway, this is my free time play profile, because I'm currently further ahead than I actually was intending. I'm going to create a new save file over here and proceed further onwards. I'm just going to ignore the majority of the enemies. These blue icons over here, they are known as collectibles. If you actually want to 100% complete this game, which I am not intending to do because that is going to take well over 300 to 400 hours of gameplay, and I don't believe I have the patience to do that. But we can honestly say, completing the Collectopedia does actually give you some decent rewards if you can pull it off. So the first item we got was a dance apple. Then we got a white beetle. Then we get a sweet wasabi. And I think we may as well just battle some more enemies, because I like playing it safe and having a decent amount of levels. Plus, you can actually get a load of items along the way. So I'm going to run back and battle this bunnet here. In fact, when I actually see these icons here, there are actually other stuff that you can see. We got his Shulk's special art, fleeing the battle. That blue icon that you saw me just a second go over, we will show that later on in the LP. And that's basically it. Now Shulk, reaching level 3, has actually learned a new art, Slit Edge. This attack has increased damage if done to the side of the enemy rather than the back. With Shulk, it's definitely a lot more better if you attack enemies from behind rather than beside. Just letting you know that. It does actually inflict physical defense down, which I can honestly say, certain arts do have certain elements. And that's another topic that we will be going over at a certain point later on. And I actually do like the fact, after when I said that this is going to be a semi-commentary LP, I'm doing a lot of commentary in this game. But also, I'm not basically playing this game completely blind. So we could say that this LP is sort of like semi-blind. Because when I reach the point where I'm currently at in my practice profile, it will actually be a blind LP where I have no idea what to even do in certain scenarios. So yeah, we'll just get some more experience along the way. To a bunnet. Alright, got a blue chain. Now, the only problem about this enemy is the fact that when you're fighting enemies, if you want to try and get the benefit of your art, you're best suited to do it when you have more than one ally in your team. Beating this enemy, though, actually gave us a bit of gear. The 9 cap. Unfortunately, we can't actually equip items at this current stage. But, so you see, right here, I am running around the enemy and he's automatically targeting me every time. Even if they were in the middle of doing their attack. If you're fighting an enemy with Shulk on his own, you are never going to get the chance to attack an enemy from the side or from behind. Oh, a moonflower. Okay, we'll just ignore these enemies and just proceed onwards because we spent about nearly 10 minutes just going through this one pathway alone. A red lettuce. And here we are. This is Colony 9.
Here we are. I better stop in at HQ. You off to the weapon development lab? Yeah. When I've sold any parts I can't use. Alright. See you later.
Now, occasionally when you go through this game, you will oftentimes see this pop up. Organizing the party. Whenever this pops up, it's usually whenever you have a guest recently join you, more than one team member to actually work with, or other kinds of stuff. When you go to this bit, the main menu, this is where you get to change your equipment. You can press plus to go to the system menu, but to load up the actual menu, you want to press the minus button, I think. I could be wrong on that. Changing equipment, you can see Shulk's default gear is this. You can also see the character's current stats when you actually select this. Actually, no, sorry. That's actually what the weapon currently does. Sorry, never mind. So Shulk's current stats involve 431 HP, 46 auto attack minimum to 54 attack maximum, 34 strength, 31 physical defense, 42 ether, 38 ether defense, 19 agility, 10% critical rate, 4% block rate, and 5% in the weight. The weight basically determines how fast the person can move. Going over the two stuff we got, we got the colony cap, which actually gives these stats. The 9 cap gives these stats. So the 9 cap actually does raise the physical defense and ether defense by 1. Certain gear can give you certain benefits of a stat boost, but others may not be necessarily the case. I'm not going to change anything at this current stage, but it definitely is something to keep in note. Shops allow you to even buy the most expensive gears in that, and also sell some stuff. And that, what I just saw me skip, was basically telling you about missions and everything. So here we go, another sweet wasabi, another blue chain, and a black kiwi. Right. Oh, okay, I was pressing the minus button, it didn't actually do anything. Okay, is it X? It's X, okay. So you press the X button. Doing this will allow you to load up the area maps, so you can basically use these to teleport whenever you want. Okay. Yeah, doing that allowed you to complete something known as an achievement. There are a lot of achievements to actually complete in this game, and some of them are basically tedious. You got stuff like do a fairly hefty amount of damage with a single attack, defeat a lot of enemies, defeat a lot of mechon, wipe out tons of ground monsters, defeat a gaggle of aerial monsters, and many, many, many more. The skip travel, if I can actually find it. Oh, there's backstab. You perform a back attack for the first time. And this. This one was actually kind of easy, but this one's actually a little bit more decent, where you have to do what you saw me do a few more times than just once. Like, say, you could do one time, then the next thing you have to do it 50 times or somewhat. The Collectopedia, though, you have these icons highlighted to indicate that you've already got something, but if you don't have something, it will not highlight it at all. They go under the category of 6 different topics: fetch, fruit, flower, bug, parts, and strange. Whenever you see these icons with a diagonal slash from the top right corner to the bottom left corner of the square, that means there are no collectibles in this area at all to fill that square. The faint, dark, grey squares are what you can fill in, and when they turn brighter with a silhouette of a collectible icon inside that square, that means you've found an item and you can actually put it in there. So you can do stuff like this. And we actually get to show you a demonstration of what we mean about completing the Collectopedia. So, not only do you get a gift for completing the entire Collectopedia, You can also get a gift for completing the entire category of one page. So if we put in this dance apple, we'll have completed the category of fruit and we get something called agility up 2. This is something known as an ox core. Ox cores are actually what benefits you with your inventory. So say if I actually go to here, it says here you can improve your agility up by 10. If it was agility up 1, it probably would have raised it up by 5. So if we do that, you can see it actually gives you a bonus effect. However, if you actually want to keep that ox core when you actually get new weapons or somewhat, you want to remember to take them off, because if you take the weapon off, it will keep the ox core on them. So just be aware of that. And we get the achievement 1 is never enough, and that hits the slot. So, bringing up this map here, you can see there are white exclamation marks all over the colony. These white exclamation marks are basically known as side quests. Whenever I see them, I will try to complete them, but I can't guarantee that I will get to complete all of them. But in time, we may get that chance to do so. If you go here to sell some items, let's see, we picked up a block guarder, which is a weapon for Vine, so we'll keep hold of that. You basically get to sell any spare gear that you don't want to keep. And also, these crystals. You want to keep hold of these crystals. Trust me on this. But yeah. We got nothing of importance to sell, so let's have a see look at what you can buy. We have got an acrylic driver, I think is how you say that, an iron pike, and a rusty garter, which are all weapons exclusively for Vine, and we got defensive knives. Interesting, okay. We've also got these gears of the battle gear, the prototype helm, and all these other kinds of helms. We got all of these gears. I mean, look at that, bikini top. And something I actually can tell you, if an icon here is highlighted in the grey box, that means they don't have any ox cores at all, and it's probably not the best sort of thing to get. Getting stuff like this, where it's got a blue icon with the letter S on it, that means it will have a free ox core slot, but it won't have an ox core in it. It can vary between either having 1 or, no, I think it's just 1 at this current stage. But what is interesting is this pink one. This has 1 ox core slot, but it automatically has an ox core in it. Whenever you see this type of gear, that doesn't mean you get a free ox core slot, because that ox core HP up 2 is by default locked with that gear. You cannot take it off no matter how hard you try. Bikini bottoms also gives HP up 2, and we got these. Bone upper, slit edge, hammer beat, wild down, and backslash. These are basically known as book arts. These will allow you to improve the further levels of the art. We're going to get 1 for backslash, and we'll get 1 for wild down. We'll say, actually, no, we'll get 1 for slit edge as well, but we'll leave the other 2. And that actually adds a tutorial for equipment and all kinds of stuff. If I go to, I think, is it change gear? I don't know. No. Okay. You can actually change the time if you wanted to, but I think it's actually going to be a point later on in the game or somewhat. Right now, let's just proceed further onwards. We won't accept any quests just yet. Oh! If you talk to somebody, you can actually trade items with them if you want. There are some people that will actually give you the benefit of that. So I think Dorothy, for example. Selecting an item you want will result in actually trading a certain thing back. So she gives you the Regnus gear, which does improve the physical defense by a lot, but it does actually add an extra weight and also ether defense by 2. Or you got this for materials. I think materials is actually something that's known for like trading or somewhat. If we select this, for example, you can actually select certain items you can get, but we only have one, being the blue chain. I'm not going to trade anything, but there are going to be a rare chance where if you trade something that's actually more expensive than what you're trading for, they could theoretically give you a bonus item. And now that we talked to Dorothy, it's introduced us to Affinity Chart. Talking to named residents of an area or town will register them on the Affinity Chart, which shows the relationships between party members and the residents. So Sonia is another one. Whenever you see a character that's got an actual name, you get to add them to the Affinity Chart. But if you see something like Colony 9 Resident, then that basically doesn't follow the Affinity Chart at all. Hey, you, listen here a bit. Hello there, young'un. I've got something that might interest you. Rather than something to tell you, it's about this here furnace. When creatures die, they leave ether crystals behind. Everyone knows that, don't they? Ether particles in the body are... Oops, that stuff's too complicated. Just remember that creatures drop ether crystals when they die. But I haven't got to the best part yet. Ready? Don't be shocked. This furnace compresses ether crystals and removes impurities. You use it to make ether gems. What? No reaction? Ugh, guess these days, you don't know how the amazing thing about this is. Whatever, I don't even know. You can use the furnace to make ether gems. They've got the powers of ether crystals, but highly condensed. Those ether gems can give you all sorts of powers. They're great for use in the home or by the defense force. Just put them in weapons or armor with slots. Alright. And talking to him actually gives you 2 energy cores for free. He gives us HP up 2, which we saw on the bikini top, and strength up 2. And now it talks to us about the gem slots, which we've already gone over. I'm actually going to prolong this episode a little bit further because we did spend a lot of time just dilly-dallying. So we'll just move further onwards. We just follow the dotted line. Go to the landmark at the Central Plaza. And then we get introduced to pretty much a funny cutscene. And now we get given the tutorial about landmarks and locations. Great, thanks. Oh, we also learned an art. We'll look at that when the time comes. I'm not going to go over every single art in the game, but I'll try my hardest to show the important ones to me. Or try different ones at least.
You idiots! What the hell are you playing at? Uh-oh. The kernel's going to explode. Crashing the mobile artillery into a house. How long have you been in the force? Sorry, sir. It's just that we were trying to go as fast as we could, like you ordered. But it's impossible to get back to the military district in only 40 seconds. I don't want any excuses. Champions don't whine. They win. suction cable. The ether fuel proceeded to leak out, and now the cylinder is empty. Well, change the cylinder then. Can't you even do something as simple as that? The auxiliary cylinders have all been used up. It'll be 3 days until more come in, sir. I told you to keep a stock of fuel in reserve. Sorry, sir. You're nothing but slackers. Same old Colonel. At this rate, the men will all be dead before they see any action.
Yep. That's actually kind of a funny thing to take note on. It's kind of silly. Anyway, I'm going to end things off this episode. Next time on Xenoblade Chronicles, we are going to be making our way into Shulk's weapon lab. See you guys then.